New update. AITA for wanting to leave my boyfriend after family vacation from hell. I've been in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend for over 3 years. We recently went on a trip that was supposed to be a fresh start for us, but things took a turn when his uncle tagged along unexpectedly. I felt overwhelmed by sharing a room with him and dealing with my boyfriend's family dynamics. My boyfriend tends to prioritize his family's needs over mine, and after a series of frustrating incidents, including having to share a bed with his uncle and being made to feel like a burden, I reached my breaking point. Long story, but please bear with me. I've been with my F28 long-distance boyfriend, M30, for more than 3 years. We lived with his parents for 2 years, and it's been a roller coaster ride of a relationship. We planned a trip 2 years ago after visiting a certain location we loved. To be honest, I wanted to cancel because I was iffy about us, but he asked for a last chance to try fixing our relationship. I was excited until his uncle, who was literally showing signs of dementia, tagged along last minute. I have no hate towards him. This family tends to do a lot together, and I mean celebrate every holiday and weekend, so I'm not surprised. Though us who came into the family know it's a lot, and the family themselves can be a lot and challenging at times to be involved with. But still, I try to make the best of it. We were warned not to take him, to be honest, but had no idea it was this bad. I felt for him. He's losing it, and he knows it, and we wanted to give him a last chance to see the world. The thing was, there were only rooms for each couple, but I was told we'd be sharing a room with boyfriends, sister, and hubby, so I was good. Hey, it's a rare opportunity to see this place. But what I didn't expect was to be told last minute that my boyfriend and I would have to bunk with his uncle. That's when it all went to hell. The thing with this family is that if you are not technically family, you don't have much to say. You are not really acknowledged unless you speak up and are expected to just do whatever they want. His mother assures me that everyone likes me and it will take time. It's been more than 3 years and I find it weird. I was weirded out and disappointed that we wouldn't have any privacy on our vacation. But my boyfriend has a tendency not to care. He does everything for them and expects me to understand, suck it up. It bothers him too, but just deal with it. I have not had a decent night's sleep for almost 2 weeks. Uncle uses a bright flashlight to get in and out of the room 3 times every night to pee and flashes it all around the room, waking us up. He makes coffee every morning and it's watery, even though he was asked not to, and I have to sneak in and remake it, or my boyfriend's dad. We also all caught a virus and spent a whole week isolated in the cabin. He did not wash his hands much, would dig in the food and touch everything and everyone's stuff. Not to mention he messes with the thermostat and roasts us all some nights. Now, we are feeling better in the second cabin in another location, only for my boyfriend to say, "Hey, give my uncle the queen bed and we will have the bunks." His family agrees. My jaw dropped. The bunk is a full bed, but it's hard for him to get out, even though he just napped on it fine and got up. I mean, I get it, but his sister also has a queen bed that's free, though she ended up getting pregnant, so I understood that too. But it was boiling over for me. I'm also not allowed to keep the door shut only when changing because he's incapable of just knocking and asking. He's very much there enough to do, so he just doesn't like bothering anyone, as they say, so I need to be more considerate. The last blow came when his mom insisted on moving all my belongings into her room so that he could put all his luggage up to reach. I was still a little sick and a little tipsy and tired and had enough. I get up a bit earlier for our hikes because there's 5-to-1 bathroom, so I try to be ready and not in the way. She still doesn't get it. And then when I refuse and say it's too much, she says, "Well, I raised my children to be considerate." I had to walk away because I was pissed. Of course, she'd come and apologize. I know it's more about not wanting him to touch my belongings. She tried to reassure me and tell me it would never happen again and that they were all over it. So, on to the update. After we fought and he refused to rectify the situation, I told him we needed time apart. He went to stay at his mom's house as I don't have any friends or family nearby. For food, I made some scrambled eggs and hard-boiled some eggs to get me through dinner that night and breakfast in the morning. The next day, we talked on the phone for a couple of hours. He apologized profusely. He explained he was extremely stressed at his job and he was really worried about me and my health. I told him that is not an excuse for treating me like crap, nor does it seem like he was worried about me at all, since he did what he did. He agreed with me and apologized again. He agreed to go to individual and couples therapy, which is huge because he doesn't like or believe in therapy, as he's had bad experiences in the past. I also see my own therapist and have been for the last 15 years, to be clear. He also agreed to buy all of the groceries to replace all of the food he took, and he agreed to make my meals for me with a little guidance, as he's not great at cooking. I made it clear that if he doesn't something like this again, there will be no more chances given, and I will file for divorce. He also apologized to our son for putting more responsibilities on his shoulders. My husband is now back to staying in our home. He has been doing all the things I am not supposed to do, and he's working on remaking all of my meals. I've been teaching him how to cook easy meals for him and our kid so he can do so in the future. He's been nothing but polite, sweet, loving, and respectful. He's also been putting forth an effort to take on more responsibilities in the house, so I'm not forced to have to do everything. I am, however, worried that this is all just a temporary fix because he wants to avoid divorce. I'm keeping an eye out for red flags. I'm not willing to put up with poor treatment. I'm just waiting for him to get comfortable and revert back to old habits. So we will see what happens. Only time will tell. To be clear, he's never treated me badly in the past, which is the main reason I decided to give him a second chance. I'm really hoping it's an aberration. As for his stress at work, his place of employment is severely understaffed at the moment. He's been going to work early and staying late to help them with this issue. He's tired and cranky, which is understandable. Adding my recent surgery on top of things, and he just couldn't handle it. He knew my surgery would be complicated, and he says he's afraid I'd die or end up with complications. This is understandable as well. I'd feel the same if roles were reversed. But he does agree that none of this gives him an excuse for his behavior, and he's agreed to work on it. He says he is very satisfied and happy with all other aspects of our life together, and he says he's really disappointed with himself for the way he acted. Again, we'll see how it works out. I'm taking everything he's saying with a grain of salt. That's it. I can't think of anything else to add. I'll post another update if anything changes. Thank you to everyone who was kind and expressed concern for my health and my situation. Thank you for sticking around until the end. If you liked our videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with our latest content. Have a wonderful day. I have been putting up with it all, being uncomfortable, because never in my life did anyone I know expect a couple to share a bedroom with a man without talking with them first. I also told his mom of my childhood rape trauma. I just never feel comfortable sleeping with men in general. I had been trying my best to be happy and smile and make his uncle feel comfortable, cleaning after him, disinfecting everything, etc. My boyfriend had called me selfish a few hours before because he had to turn back on the hike we've been wanting to try to take his uncle back, because he couldn't make it, even though everyone told him not to go. I was upset, but I understood. I was really mad at the fact he took my only water and food supplies with him. I know he forgot in the heat of the moment because we were all upset he had to go back. Though the hike was 7 hours long, luckily his sister was kind enough to share and make sure I was good. I woke up this morning, though, to make coffee, and it was a whole other debate. See, his family acknowledges it was wrong, but when I do it, my boyfriend says, I hate his family. He's also been ignoring me and not talking to me much, but saying everything's fine. He always has a thing for treating everyone differently than me. Yeah, he packs my hike bag here and there and makes sure I'm good on the hike, but it just seems like he doesn't care as much as he does for me as he does for everyone else. I'm so over it. AITA for feeling this way. I have no hate towards his uncle. I'm just literally exhausted and tired of how my boyfriend treats me and what he expects from me. TLDR, considering breaking up with boyfriend when we get back from trip. After I posted, I had decided to sit down and talk with him before we headed out for the day. Even though this has all been too much, I was about to throw away more than 3 years with this man, my F28, first ever boyfriend, M30. I wanted to know why he's being like this. He came out and told me he's again tired of the situation but doesn't understand why I can't just deal with it. He also told me I think he's always out to get me and I get triggered easily and that he's tired of bickering. He just wants us to enjoy the vacation. And if I want to talk about it, we can talk at home where I don't talk over him. I told him if I talk over him then I'm sorry, but I had enough of doing literally everything when it's convenient for him or his family. The audacity. The other day his sister, husband, him and I were in the car after a long day of hiking and seeing animals, and it was fun. She brought up said uncle we had to bunk with being married, and I was shocked I didn't know. Suddenly my boyfriend turns and says, yeah, as you say, it's always the women's fault and never us guys. The whole car went quiet and I was embarrassed. I did nothing to deserve that. When we got home, I asked why he did that. He simply said, if you don't want me doing that, then don't say anything at all. I was hurt and flabbergasted. I reminded him of this while we were talking. He had nothing to say after that. I told him my sister literally said, it's been sounding as if you don't like me. And she's right. No one purposely goes out of their way to embarrass their partner like that. And I told him not for anything cheating is still wrong, but what I've heard all the spouses say about this family, it's probably because she was left feeling lonely. I continued to tell him tired I was of everything. I don't deserve any of the asterisk T I've been putting through, and that there was literally nothing I wouldn't do for him. But not anymore. I told him he doesn't get to pick and choose when to fix our problems or try to be a boyfriend when he feels like it. I told him 2 weeks from Saturday I'll have a place to stay, and he needs to take me straight home. We're done. I cried for an hour almost. He just sat there. But my sister is right. I waited so long for this trip, and I'm making the best of it. We went out and went shopping. I felt horrible and sick, but I got to do what I came for. However, at one point I had to sit at a cafe while they shopped because I felt sick. I told his mom. I was there for a bit because I felt queasy. No one even bothered to check on me. He only came up to me because they wanted to leave and head over to the next store. No, are you okay or anything? That's just how they are. Unless you have their last name and are married, it's whatever. But for them, they are considerate to each other. His mom, though, always cared, and I have to give her that. She was always the one who made me feel comfortable, makes sure I'm feeling better, makes me feel included, and asks what I want to do. Yeah, unfortunately, she's folded into their ways over time because the only thing you can do to be accepted into this family and apologize to me while they shopped. She sadly said, I think I know what's happened, but just know I'm sorry, and that it's her fault for raising him that way. See, she basically was me back in her day. They put her through even worse, from what I was told. Even racism. She told me I have to do what makes me happy, and that she will miss me, and I will miss her. I was basically dating her all this time. She took me everywhere, went out together, and introduced me to everyone. But unfortunately, she feels she made her bed and has to lie in it, but I don't. Now we have 2 days left and Ima make the best of it. I'm still a bit out of it, but I'll be fine. Thank you all for the advice and for giving me the push I needed, but I'm looking forward to seeing my nieces and nephews and my family. AITA for wanting to break up with my boyfriend. Story 2. New update. AIO. My husband ate all my food. Original post. So I just had surgery on my stomach and intestines almost 2 weeks ago. Because of the surgery, I have to adhere to a very strict diet until I'm fully healed. If I stray from the diet, it could cause severe complications and possibly lead to death. So for the first 2 weeks after surgery, I can only drink a full liquid diet. The most solid thing I can eat is pudding. I can't even have soup with any chunks of veg meat in it, even if they're soft. There's not a lot of variety to choose from, and I'm not having a good time at all. Plus, I'm still having pain from the procedure and some nausea, and I've had to go in for IV fluids and iron twice now. Prior to surgery, I meal prepped for myself and for the family so I wouldn't have to worry about it after. I made meals for myself for every stage of the diet, and with specific macros/ingredients to meet my needs and comply with my other health problems. For example, I have celiac disease, so everything has to be gluten-free. I also follow a low-sugar, low-carb diet, so everything had to comply with that as well. I also made meals for him and our son, meals specifically requested by him. I stocked up on snacks they liked and asked for. We also have a fairly strict budget right now, so I made everything from scratch to save some money. About 1/4 of everything I made is in the freezer attached to our fridge for convenience sake. The rest is in the deep freeze in the garage. So most of the meals in the house freezer are gone, so I went out to the garage to restock. All of the meals I'd made for myself are gone, just completely emptied out. I'm really upset because I have no energy right now to make more. Living off of liquids and having anemia will do that to a person. My diet is, hopefully, progressing to soft solids tomorrow, so I was really excited to be able to eat some of the food I'd made. I asked him about it, and he blamed it on our son first, which I know is BS, because the kid hates all of my special food with a passion LOL. There's no way he'd be sneaking my food. So I questioned my husband again. He admitted to it, said he'd been taking my meals to work as his lunch because he was too tired to make his own lunch before work. He has always made his own lunch up until now. He also said he was bored with the lunches he makes and my food provided variety. I am exhausted. This recovery period is kicking my ass. Before surgery, I ran a mile every day. Now, I barely have enough energy to walk up the stairs. I'm not supposed to lift more than 10 pounds. I'm not supposed to do anything more strenuous than walking. Even taking a shower is tiring right now. The anemia, dehydration, and lack of proper nutrition is making it worse. So when he admitted to taking my food, I just started crying. He hasn't been much help after surgery. My son, 11 Yo, has been doing all the lifting for me and helping me with chores and cooking. When I started crying, he got disgusted and told me I was overreacting and being a baby. He refuses to make me new meals. He refuses to help me make new meals. He says it's been almost 2 weeks and I should be able to do stuff on my own. At this point, I'm seriously considering divorce. I mean, my son and I are already doing everything on our own already, and I know my kid won't eat my diet food. Am I overreacting? Also, I just found out he's raided my non-perishable food stores in the pantry. It was mostly sugar-free Jell-O and pudding, stuff I can eat on the liquid diet. Pretty much everything is gone, except for some sugar-free orange Jell-O. TDLR, I am on a special diet due health issues and recent surgery. I meal prepped meals for myself and for the family so I wouldn't have to deal with it while recovering from surgery. My husband ate all of my diet food without telling me and says I'm overreacting for being upset. Am I overreacting? Update. This will be long. I apologize in advance. Okay. Obligatory OMG. This post exploded comment. I didn't expect it to explode this much. I even saw an article written about it on People Magazine's website. So, thanks for that, everyone. I'm just glad this is a throwaway account, and none of my friends' family are Redditors. I tried to read all of the comments, but there are so many. And frankly, I'm tired, so I'm sure I missed a bunch. I apologize for that. Anyway, so it's been approximately a week since my post, and I'll try to answer some questions and let everyone know what's going on. The food I had in the deep freeze in the garage was for the next stage of my diet, which is soft foods with a high protein content. Think egg salad, tender cooked chicken, vegetarian/chicken chili, soft seafood, etc. Definitely more tasty than the liquid diet I was on, so maybe that's why my husband ate them. IDK. I'm still not clear on why he did what he did. I have no idea if he ate them or threw them out, as many of you suggested. I did ask him, and he danced around it and didn't provide any answers. I think maybe he did a combination of the two. I think he has some built-in resentment, as I've had health issues since before we married. He knew what he was getting into, and he married me anyway. I don't think he realized the toll it could have on him and our relationship, though. He's not a caretaker, just to clear things up. I'm not sick enough, except while recovering from surgery, to need someone to take care of me. I am very independent, and I do everything myself. I do most of the child care, cleaning, errands, cooking, managing money and expenses. You get the idea. He does get upset because I'm not always able to do activities with him that he really enjoys, like hiking, fishing, frisbee golf, etc. Mostly things that involve being outside. I'm very sensitive to temperature, and heat makes me physically sick. I'm also supposed to avoid the sun as it gives me a rash and makes me nauseated. We do a lot of indoor activities like playing games, movies, museums, going to the gym, swimming indoors, etc. I also make an effort to spend time with him individually and as a family. Up until this surgery, we have had no issues, and I had no idea he would act this way. Maybe I missed some red flags. IDK. My husband has never been abusive, nor has he ever done anything like this before. That's why I made the post. I was really confused because I had no idea where his attitude was coming from and thought maybe I did something. Like I stated above, I think he has some built-up resentment or something. He's always been understanding and respectful of my needs and my health, and has never shown that he may have any differing feelings. Our sex life is great. He's stated he's very satisfied in that aspect. He says he sees that I'm putting forth a lot of effort to spend time with him and make him a priority in my life, and he says he appreciates it. So unless he's feeding me a line of BS, this isn't the cause either. The surgery I had was removal of benign tumors I had in my stomach and part of my intestine. They had to remove 3/4 of my stomach and part of my small intestine. They got all of the tumors and are optimistic they won't return. I'll have to be very aware of my nutrition for the rest of my life, as I will have malabsorption issues. The surgery was done laparoscopically, so it's not as painful and doesn't require as much recovery as an open procedure.